As our final warm-up, we're going to be doing some classic tumbling, gymnastic, circus-style kicks. We're going to start with just a simple front kick. You're going to step with your left leg, kick with your right, bring them together. Step with your right, kick with your left, bring them together. And continue down the floor for that. You can have pointed feet or flexed feet. And then you're going to run back to the front of the mat or whatever line you're going down. And we're going to do some inside-outside kicks, which it'll look a little easier if you see me do it this view. You're going to bring your leg inside your body, bring it up, out, and try and kick your hand. So in full, fast speed, it looks a little bit like this. Wah! And that sort of gets your hip really opening up. You're going to do that all the way down the mat. So we're going to step with our left, kick with our right, step with our right, kick with our left, all the way down the mat. And then you're going to run back to the top of the mat. And now we're going to be doing side kicks. These are a little bit different because they're to the side and they're not forward. But what you're going to do is you're going to step, step, kick, and then you're going to step with your right leg, kick with your left, and turn. Step with your left, kick with your right, and turn. Step with your right, kick with your left, all the way down the mat. And now, for the final one, we're going to do back kicks. Make sure you don't kick your friends if they're following behind you, but they should be 6 feet away. Social distancing. Again, all right, so you're going to have a compression, and you're going to kick out and back. And then you're going to step forward and compress and kick out and back, and compress at the end, come back, step forward, compress, kick out and back, compress, step forward. All the way down the mat. Making sure to really activate the back of your leg as you do these back kicks. These back kicks are another excellent drill and exercise to do in order to get that lift for your cartwheel. So if you do a lot of these, it'll also help improve your cartwheels that we worked on in the previous video. Before we get started with the actual tumbling, I want to demonstrate the difference between a tight tuck and a loose tuck, because the concept of a tuck is very important for forward rolls and backward rolls. And from what I've seen in class, a lot of us don't fully understand the concept of being really tight up in a ball in order to create more momentum moving forward, because less of my limbs are out here and it's easier to move if I'm small. So Julia's going to show us a forward roll with a very loose tuck, meaning she's very open and sort of loosey-goosey. Take it away. Now, as you can see, Julia can barely come to standing after doing a loosey-goosey roll with a loosey-goosey tuck. Because of this, Julia is going to now try and do the roll in a tight tuck, meaning she's bringing her knees to her chest. She's curling her spine in a ball so that she looks very tiny, like this. All right, take it away, Julia. Now you can see Julia had so much momentum that time that instead of just staggering to standing, she was able to do a whole jump. So if you guys can master this sort of tight tuck, you'll also be able to have more momentum and a greater ability to come to standing, meaning you can link moves more easily, which is an important thing for the recital. So, in order to work on your tuck, we're going to do a couple of drills. A good way to do this is to just get down on your feet, grab your knees, and just hang out here and rock back and forth a little bit. This is a very similar sort of shape that you want to have when you're doing a roll forward or a roll backwards. You want to make sure that you always feel these knees up against your chest. Another way to work on getting this tuck in a very quick manner is to do tuck jumps. That's where you jump and you get a tuck right at the top of your jump. So it looks a little bit like this. And you can land low if you want to, or you can land higher, like Julia just did. But don't fall over, and I wouldn't recommend doing this on like the second floor of your parents' house because it'll make a lot of noise.
I also wouldn't do this with socks on. I'm wearing socks on this kind of slippy mat, and that's why I slid off.
So,
Don't do it on hardwood.
definitely don't do it on hardwood. Practice those things, and hopefully your tuck will improve. And we'll move on to actual tumbling right now. We're going to start with some of the basic forward rolls. I hope you guys can all sort of start these from standing. So what you're going to do, you're going to be up here, nice long body. You're going to come down, reach, and tuck, and come back up to standing, and then repeat. Reach, tuck, come back up to standing, and do that standing in between each one. And then you can come to the front. And Julia, can you show us some continuous forward rolls? This time, just keep going, keep the momentum, keep the tuck, and go right into that forward roll. Part of that technique is that after you're standing and you come into your forward roll, you want to reach forward and sort of not hesitate and keep going so that you can keep that momentum moving forward without breaking out of your tuck, releasing all of that momentum into the ether. Now we're on to backwards rolls. We're going to start off with me demonstrating a little bit, and then we're going to slow down with Julia. You're going to come up, standing, arms straight, squat down, keep your arms by your sides, go back, and come back to standing, come down again, arms here as you squat down, over, and back to standing. Great. Now we're going to show Julia going through it and break down the form a little bit more in depth. So Julia's in a straight body, she squats down. If you keep your elbows in line with your knees, I'll give you a little bit of a peek at that here. It's going to give you more room to push when you roll over. So now Julia's going to roll over and press and come through. By keeping those elbows in line with your knees, it allows you more mechanism to be able to press as opposed to being out here. If you're out here, you're more likely to push over one way and like roll over gollywampus. So practice those. And if you want to see backwards rolls continuous, it's very similar to forward rolls continuous. Just stay in that tight tuck and keep pushing as your legs go over your head a little bit like this. Now we're going to do straddle rolls, a good old favorite of the class, I know for sure. And as you know, they start off in a straddle, as Julia is about to demonstrate. And then very similar to a forward roll, you lower down and you tuck your head, you curl, but you keep your legs in that straddle very straight. Go ahead for us, Julia. And you reach forward. As you reach forward, you come out of your straddle a little bit like this, and you want to make sure that in order to come fully up, you could push your arms forward like so to come back to standing, or to go into a continuous straddle. I'll show you a couple of continuous forward straddle rolls, and then we'll move on to backward straddle rolls. I don't have a lot of space, so it's probably going to be 2. But you come down, curl, keep those legs straight, and then you curl, and you can end in a straddle, or you can come up out of your straddle if you got the momentum going. Now for the backward straddle roll. Remember with this one, you want to go down into your straddle, very similar to the straddle roll. And we're going to reach with our hands facing, fingertips pointing backwards, down, so that we can lower ourselves down in our straddle. And then immediately after we lower down to here, we're going to reach up so that we're ready to do the same thing we do in a backwards roll. Sort of raise the roof, elbows nice and tight, so we can press ourselves over just as our legs come over our heads to capitalize on that momentum and to come a cool little circle moving backwards while in a straddle. I'll show you that in real time. It looks like this, down, over, and you can come straight to standing in your straddle, or continue on, if you have a longer mat than this, to do continuous backward straddle rolls. You're going to learn something a little bit new, but very similar to stuff that we've done before. It's called an Aikido shoulder roll. It's not technically a gymnastics proper move, but it's something useful for transitions, and we might end up implementing it in some of our choreography because it's possible to do these without a mat because they're very safe and use all of your body to create a roll. So what you're going to do, Julia's going to show you over here. You can start these from kneeling. You're going to have one leg in front and one leg behind with the knee on the ground. And Julia's going to take her right hand, because her left leg's forward, and make a little triangle with her limbs. And she's going to take her left hand, the same hand as the knee that is forward, and thread it through that hole in between her front hand and her back leg. And this is what creates, you create an O with your body to sort of roll along and follow through. So now Julia's going to show you the complete roll from kneeling and demonstrate how she utilizes this curvature of her body in order to create all this surface area to roll on so that it doesn't hurt. This would be a great move to probably practice on some carpets or some grass. Just make sure you wear some clothes that don't get stained easily. And make sure you practice both sides. So if you did your left leg in front, do your right leg. And remember, you thread the same hand that has your leg forward. And you create a nice little roll so you can roll really smoothly. Just think about being involved. So in the previous cartwheel class, you saw cartwheels into somersaults, and right before all of this stuff happened and classes got canceled, we were working a little bit on somersaults into cartwheels. This is a little bit trickier, but you just want to remember whatever leg you prefer for your cartwheel is the leg that you're going to stick forward when you come out of your somersault. So it looks like a little bit like this. You're going to somersault. As I'm somersaulting, since I prefer my left leg in front, I have my left leg that breaks out of my tuck, while my other knee, my right knee, is still in that tuck. And I have it forward so that when I come up, I'm immediately in my cartwheel position and able to go straight into a beautiful cartwheel. Now Julia is going to show that in fast motion. Goes into her tuck, sticks her leg out, and goes straight into her cartwheel. So there are modifications on that move depending on how comfortable you are. Some people go through a squat so that they get more power on their cartwheel, sort of like what Julia just did. But it's also possible to just go into your roll, come up, be straight, and go into your cartwheel. It's a little less smooth, but some might say that it has better lines, better technique. I prefer the method that Julia showed, where you stay nice and low, which again looks like this. Somersault, blow right into your cartwheel so that it's nice and fluid and one motion. Please work on these because the ideal scenario is that we're able to do some of these combo moves in our recital piece. Before we wrap up this class, we're going to do one more combo drill. It's going to be a simple forward roll, and then you're going to go straight into a jump full turn. A jump full turn, which I don't think we've done these, you're facing this way, you're going to jump, spin 360 degrees, and face the same way you were facing before. So it looks a little bit like this. Jump, and then land as straight as you can. I'm not the best at these because remember, I recently broke my leg and landing is still scary. All right, so linking these together, it's gonna look a little bit like this. You're gonna come down, do your somersault, come up, jump full turn, and land facing the same way. Julia might be able to do these a little bit better than me. Roll, jump, and full turn. There you go. As you can see, Julia throws her arms a little bit like this and then brings them around to the front, which actually does help keep you a little bit more centered. So if you have your arms horizontal to the ground and then bring them up, it'll be easier to face the same way without being all gollymongus. All right, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next week in our digital classroom.